Te mātauranga kia marama. Seek knowledge for understanding. Kia ora koutou katoa. Ko Taupiri toku maunga, ko Waikato toku awa, ko Air New Zealand toku waka, ko Gregory Arthur Moon toku papa, ko Sherilyn Marie Brabant toku mama, ko Nikayla Leslie Milne toku ingoa. One key aspect of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, which resonates with me as an early childhood teacher within Aotearoa New Zealand, is partnership. Partnership is Article 1 of Te Tiriti o Waitangi and has been described as working collaboratively with young people and their family, whānau, involving everyone in the well-being of the child. I have been teaching early childhood education for 4 years. Since I began as a new teacher, I have always held great value on building relationships and partnerships with children, their parents, and their whānau. My teaching philosophy has always emphasised that this is an area that I strive for excellence. I believe that strong relationships rely heavily on partnership. I feel that in my teaching practice, I uphold Te Tiriti o Waitangi through creating and maintaining these relationships and partnerships. Hawkins 2014 states that early childhood educators share a major responsibility in teaching for social justice and fostering an anti-bias curriculum that challenges racism, prejudice, and upholds equity. As teachers, we need to work with a child's parents and whānau in order to understand what their child is bringing with them to the centre. Each child has experienced different events, and throughout their lives have different styles of learning. The New Zealand Early Childhood Education Curriculum states that each child is on a unique journey. They come into the world eager to learn and into family and whānau that have high hopes for them. Teachers, educators, and kaiako in ECE settings work together in partnership with the family to realise these high hopes. When I first started the Bachelor of Teaching, I acknowledged that I didn't have a good understanding of Te Tiriti o Waitangi and social justice. Through completing the modules Exploring Quality and Being a Teacher, I have realised that I had a rather narrow worldview. I don't believe that I was ever intentionally ignorant, but I am slightly ashamed of how little I actually knew about this area and how little effort I made to find out more. I previously knew that there were 2 translations of Te Tiriti o Waitangi. I knew that there were some contradictions between each copy. I also knew that these documents with the founding documents of the partnership between Māori and Pākehā within Aotearoa, New Zealand. I feel that I have an ethical responsibility to uphold Te Tiriti o Waitangi in my classroom. I have done this by speaking more te reo Māori around the classroom and inspiring our children to do the same. I wanted to do this to enable the Māori language to feel valued and have noticed that some of the te reo Māori speaking students have responded well and appear to be developing relationships with me. I have been asking my teaching team for lots of questions about Te Tiriti o Waitangi. I have been seeking knowledge from the teachers around me. Now that I have a better understanding, I am able to practice in a way which supports the partnerships of Te Tiriti o Waitangi. This allows me to practice for social justice, as I am able to practice in a way which upholds different perspectives while challenging the notions of racism and equity. While I feel that I am well on my way towards achieving a greater understanding of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, I acknowledge that I still have a long way to go. I will continue to seek knowledge from those around me. Through my commitment to our Kodao standards, I will be able to learn more about Te Tiriti o Waitangi through continuing to learn more about this area.
I have looked at biculturalism as an aspect of Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Biculturalism is something I am trying very hard to incorporate into my room. Biculturalism is important to me as I am part Māori and I love my culture. Encouraging biculturalism is something I look at as essential in my teaching practice. Having a bicultural centre ensures we are enforcing partnership, protection and participation of Māori. In my teaching philosophy, Te Reo Māori is very important to me. As I wrote in my reflection for Exploring Quality, I am aware that I need to do better at incorporating the language in my centre. In my centre, I have incorporated Te Reo Māori in a few ways. The first is when I started, I noticed that Te Reo Māori needed to be incorporated a bit more. To do this, I put up cards around the room with phrases and words that would match the area. Unfortunately, this didn't work as well as I had hoped. Skip to this year, we have a new team, and I am determined to incorporate it more. The first step I have taken is giving each of my team members a book of sorts that has different phrases, words, and whakatauki. The first three are... From this book, I have made a Phrases of the Month chart that I'm going to make into a competition. The first three phrases are whakanoa mai, titiro mai, and haere mai. My idea is to partner my team up, and our jobs are to listen for our partner using the phrases of the month. Then at the staff meeting, we are going to reflect on the month and see who used it the most. Another thing I am looking to incorporate with my team is more Māori waiata during mat time. At staff meetings, I am hoping to start including a positive whakatauki regarding the children and us as a team. As it is my responsibility to Te Reo Waitangi to ensure the language thrives and that our children get taught through the culture. In my philosophy, I know how important tikanga Māori is. I aspire to incorporate tikanga in my teaching practice every day, from placing the bed a certain way to respecting the land. By doing this, I know that I am achieving my professional responsibility to Te Reti. Incorporating social justice into Te Reti in my philosophy, I have worked hard to ensure everyone is getting equitable opportunities. In this, I am advocating for the children that may get left out or have less opportunities in life. Through my teaching, I ensure that all the children are viewed positively and their culture or race is celebrated. I am a strong advocate for biculturalism and work hard to incorporate it into my everyday teaching. I work it into my class, my room, and support my team with Te Reo Māori as well. I am looking forward to learning more of the language so I can use it more regularly and efficiently.
Ooh, that's getting pretty dark. Te Tiriti o Waitangi, the true founding document of Aotearoa New Zealand, was written and agreed upon under the understanding that this document would form a partnership between the European and the Māori people that would enable us to share this country and thrive together as one. There have been many instances throughout Aotearoa New Zealand's history that have seen Māori and Pākehā people divided and working against each other, and the treaty that founded this country. As a country, we have come a long way since these historical divisions of people, but there is still work to be done in righting the wrongs of our ancestors and building an Aotearoa New Zealand, Māori, Pākehā, and people from around the world can be proud to call home. The aspects of partnership within Te Tiriti o Waitangi is a promise from both sides of a future that fosters relationships between both cultures, relationships that celebrate each other's differences and which work together for the betterment of the country. This agreement of partnership here in Aotearoa was signed in the hopes that the future generations could live together harmoniously and collaboratively in all aspects of life. As an early childhood educator in New Zealand, I have come to understand my role and responsibilities in relation to the treaty are to help all families feel welcome and at home in our centre, to ensure all children can see their cultures reflected in our language, protocols, environments, and people they interact with in our classroom, and for all children to enjoy equal opportunity to thrive in their early learning experiences. This is what Te Tiriti o Waitangi intended, to be able to enable social justice for all people, equal opportunity for both Pākehā and Māori children in all things, including education. We as early childhood educators have a direct responsibility to Te Tiriti and are setting the standard for inclusion and biculturalism in these children's lives. My philosophy in teaching has always been based around first building, then maintaining positive relationships. Whether it's with staff, whānau, or tamariki, I have found over my 4 years of teaching that nothing is more important than creating the kind of relationships with others that allow people to feel welcome and valued. It was through supporting children and helping them feel safe and secure to explore and learn in our environment that I began to see this as fundamental to any partnership. As early childhood educators, I believe it is one of our greatest responsibilities to provide children with secure relationships where they are able to learn the value of kindness and empathy for others. These lessons, when learnt at an early age, are what facilitate a child's ability to accept and focus on the similarities they have with their peers, build relationships with others despite differences, and ultimately help work towards a better future for all New Zealanders.
Kia ora, ko kahuera toku maunga, ko mokau toku awa, ko tainui toku waka, ko ngapi ngapi rawa, ko mokau kohunui o ku marae, ko ngati mania poto toku iwi, ko Jana for toku ingoa. Working as a teacher in a centre with a high diversity and culture, we have high expectations to adhere and participate within the guidelines of Te Tiriti o Waitangi and our standards. Over time, my teaching practices and philosophy has changed through my participation in the centre, especially while I have been made responsible for sleepers. I have to follow strong tikanga practices for sleeping, for example, head-to-head sleeping, privacy and respect for sleepers, encouraging children not to stand on bedding and pillows. I feel that I am supporting and enhancing biculturalism by speaking te reo Māori within my centre and adhering to Te Tiriti o Waitangi and keeping the language alive within our centre. I am part Māori myself and live within the boundaries of my iwi and feel that I am well and truly contributing. I have also spoken full sentences to the children and staff and helped them to understand by translating what I have said. Since I have been doing this, I now have children understanding what I have said, and I have also got my colleagues speaking full sentences also, even if they are mostly instructional. My colleagues appreciate my contribution and ask my advice for pronunciation and meanings of things. I do have to revert back to a dictionary on occasion, but most of the time I'm okay. I have decided I will do further study in Te Reo Māori in order to keep my love for the language alive and pass on my knowledge. This is my way of building professional development. In the time that I have been teaching, my philosophy has evolved and grown as I have grown. As a mum of 3 children of my own, I gained hands-on experience but never really knew the depth of development a child makes in the short time that we have them in our care. I also didn't realise the depth of understanding I now have for our children when they are doing the things they do and how they do it. Kia tau, kia tātou katoa, te ata whai o tō tātou ariki, aihu karaiti, me te aroha o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu, ake, amene.